Hello, beloveds. Today we are going to be talking about light language and how light language is a powerful healing and activation tool to support you in anchoring, amplifying, and awakening even more of your light. And today is day 12. Today is the last day of the 12 days of giving, the 12 days of lives, the 12 days of light. And we're here and the sun is setting behind me. I'm on the magical island of Ibiza. And I'm so excited that I was able to bring you this series of light to support you in bringing in even more light during this time that can actually be really challenging, because as I've talked about in all the 11 days, these days are the darkest days of the year. And even though it's the holidays, and even though it's, interestingly, Christmas was named after really about Christ consciousness and Christ light, and also solstice. The solstice day was moved to Christmas, and winter solstice is a time that brings in the light. It's that switch point. And we are light beings, and anything that supports us in bringing in more light enhances every aspect of our life. How we feel, our relationships, how inspired we are, how passionate we are. And that's that life force that helps co-create our life in the most beautiful ways. And so today I want to share about light language because it's not something that's very mainstream. I have a podcast episode that I talked about light language, and I wanted to share it here as well because not everyone who is on my Instagram also goes to my podcast. But on my podcast episode, I talk about light language. What is it? And I'll break it down a bit here, but if you want to go deeper, you can go there. And I find that light language is a very unique healing tool that I use, and it's in all of my ascension codes. It's in all of my abundance codes. If you do one-to-one work with me, there is specific personalized light language for you. My Ultimate Woman program has light language in it. So much of my offerings have light language, but I never really share it here on social media because there are many different reasons that I'll get into. But firstly is it's a bit different than what we're used to. You know, people are just getting used to the idea of like energy work and energy healing, even though it's been around for thousands of years. And when it comes to light language, it sounds different from what we're used to. And if you don't know this, I actually released a song, a single, a track, a music song where I sing and speak light language in it. And it is on Spotify. It's on most streaming platforms. If you type in Dr. Nikki Starr, Raw Membrance, R-A. Instead of remembrance, it's Raw Membrance, 444. And so, I find that light language is such a powerful tool because it transcends the logical mind. It transcends the logical mind so that it can go down to the DNA and cellular level to support your healing, transformation, and awakening. So when I say, like, what is light language? Light language is essentially vibration, sound, song, toning that is translated energy put into sound. So all energy is vibration, but it takes different forms. In some vibrations, it is light energy. In some vibrations, it is sound energy. In some vibrations, it is, like, for example, color is different frequencies, and different pitches of sound is also frequency. So, for example, when you look at a color, it doesn't have a sound, but it can have a vocal translation. So the light language is essentially vibrational healing that comes from the voice of a person. And sometimes it can sound like ancient human languages. It can sound like another language. Sometimes light language sounds like toning. Sometimes light language sounds like breath. Sometimes it can literally be anything. It's different sounds, it's different intonations. And I always tell people when they're listening to light language to see what moves inside of your body. Because part of what light language does is it clears out energies in your field that are not serving. It's like vibration that's like sonar vibration that's like clearing things out. It's like clearing the gunk out. It's also turning on your DNA and shifting it. And it's also bringing in light and codes and intentions. And light language can work in two ways. One way is that the practitioner, such as myself, has an intention and then I share it. Or I am receiving transmission for that person from their soul, from their highest self, from their spirit guides. And then that sound frequency transmission is sent to the person as like a packet of information. And then that information is received. People who receive light language often feel sensations in the body, movements in the body, tingling. They feel movement or energy or heat in different parts of the body depending on what's being worked on. And the cool thing about light language is that it's across time and space. Like it can be done in person, but it can also be done through the interwebs. It can be done with you actually listening to it, or it can be done as, like I mentioned, set as a packet of information. But there is power to listening to it because it is the frequencies of the sound that go down into the cells and into the DNA level. And I have found it to be a very powerful transformational tool that works like grace. It works like a divine miracle, and it's so beautiful. I love it so much. I recommend it to and offer it to all of my clients. I offer it in my retreats. I have a workshop called Energy Healing and Activation that's in person. All of these offerings have light language. And part of why I don't really share it mainstream is I feel like not everyone is ready for light language. It's really quite different, and it's easy to want to perhaps judge it and so I find that when people receive information and it is beyond what they're ready for, it can even burn you. But my experience has been, like, in a sense, be like, oh, it's weird, and then it's like rejected, versus if it's in the right setting. And that's why it's in my abundance and my ascension codes, because I really want people to choose it. And when you choose to pay for an offering, you're choosing whatever comes with that. And when most people have heard it for the first time, most of the response I receive from people is that it sounds familiar, like they feel like they know it, or that they feel tingling all over their body, etc. So it is really a joy to transmit it, and also just to see people's responses. And so even today, I really toyed with, am I going to share light language in this transmission? And I feel the answer is yes. And I feel that, and it's interesting because yesterday I went to a community circle on Sacred Union, and one of the female facilitators, she shared her light language, which was very indigenous sounding. And it was moments sounded very alien. And the moments were song, but other moments were her almost like singing like the Icaros of ayahuasca, for example. But what's cool about light language is you can go on a whole journey with light language, and you don't need a plant medicine. That you discover wisdom and insights within yourself thanks to the frequencies that are coming in. And so what I felt, it's funny, these bubbles with thumbs up, I don't know if you see them as well. So I decided that today I would share light language very briefly with the intention of anchoring in even more light, because that's what this series has been about. And I trust it's protected. Like if someone is meant to hear the light language, they will stay on through this live. They will feel the energy and want to click on it and want to watch it till the end. And if they don't, that's okay too. And of course, if this is your first time hearing light language, I applaud you for taking the journey, for saying yes, that this is something that you want to listen to. And I'm going to do the type of light language where I am going to set an invocation, connect to our guides, connect to the highest frequencies of love and light, to really protect our space and allow just the purest, most healing frequencies that want to come through. And then I'm going to see what wants to come through. And as I mentioned, I'm going to set the intention of supporting us in awakening even more of our light codes, activating more of our light body, amplifying our light, radiating our light, and receiving even more light in support of our greatest becoming and the manifestation of our highest potential timelines. And so with that, I invite you to close your eyes and just enter into a beautiful receiving mode. Allow yourself to receive. Begin to breathe deeply. Relax your body, your being, your shoulders, your jaw. Allow yourself to ground into the earth. And we open the space for divine healing, wisdom, and guidance for this light language transmission in support of our greatest becoming, calling upon all of our benevolent loving guides, the forces of unconditional love, the highest frequencies of divine love and light, to be here in support of this light language transmission to activate even more of our light. And so I invite you to listen with an open mind and an open heart. Olem Sanai Turum Nanai Kotara Talia Tatasohalam Taranai Kora Trasilia Newetom Turanai Kora Tatanai Haranai Solaira Tam Trunu Newengam Taranai Koa Tata Sia Loyam Taranai Koa Starlia Tamte Newetam Koranai Sala Harne Lotoram Nanai Castelia Nevetam koranai kalyam taranai korasitira toram taranai korre hanai tolia. And so clearing away any energies that are not serving, creating space for even more love and light. And in this moment, just connecting to your light, the love that you are, feeling your light body amplified, radiant, bright. Notice what has shifted inside of you. Notice what's present. Giving thanks to all the benevolent, loving energies that were present to clear out any energies not serving and to raise our frequency and light to the Most High. And if you haven't already, you can come to open your eyes and just notice how that was for you. And so every time I do light language, it's different. There is some essences that remain the same, but oftentimes it can oscillate depending on what the intention is, what the person needs, who the person is connected to on a soul level, or what beings, what spirit guides. It varies all the time. It's really such a beautiful thing, and sometimes it can even be ancestral. It can come from someone's ancestors. And so if you want to receive more light language, I invite you into my one-to-one work. I invite you into the abundance codes, the ascension codes, into the modules of the Ultimate Woman program. It's really another powerful tool that supports us in our greatest becoming, that allows us to go beyond the mind and really access information at the soul level. It is essentially a soul transmission. And so with that, I send you so much love. Thank you for being here today. I wish you the most love and light during these holidays, these holy days, and may it continue into the new year, all for your greatest becoming. Thank you for tuning into these 12 days of lives, and reach out to me. I would love to connect with you more. And I would love to support your healing and becoming journey even more. Big kiss, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.